is up, Sky Squad? It is Nicole Skyes, and welcome back to my vlog channel. I'm going to the beach, so I'm not wearing any makeup except a little bit of lipstick. I want to try like balance this somewhere, maybe on my tripod. Alright, that is better. So a lot of you guys have been asking where Valme is, my little beautiful bird, and I'm gonna tell you guys. If you don't know who Valme is, she was my rescued Sparrow. I rescued her when she was like 5 days old. I had to feed her every 30 minutes from 6 a.m. all the way to 8 p.m. I had to hand feed her with little tweezers. I had to crush up little grasshoppers and mealworms and feed it to her like that with water. I invested a lot of time in this bird, and miraculously she survived to be an adult bird. She would fly to me. She was so awesome. So a lot of you guys think in my Mill Valley house I got rid of her. I didn't get rid of her in the Mill Valley house. I moved down to LA and she came with me, so she was living in the house in LA. And what I would do with her was I let her free fly everywhere. She hated her cage. She's a wild bird. She didn't want anything to do with her cage, so I just let her fly around my house. I had a TV on the wall in my room, and on top of the TV there was like the TV box. It was like a little like shelf. And she would go up there, she would sleep up there, and she would make a little nest. And actually, fun fact, she actually was a boy. The black on her beak and the black on her face says that she's a boy. So she actually wasn't a girl at all, but I was so used to calling her a girl that I just called her a girl. Plus, I have too many boys in my life. I had like 3 boy dogs. So in the LA house, as time went on, she used to always like fly to me, and like she would land on my chest, and she would just be very, very cuddly and lovey. And as she aged and was getting more sexually mature, she's like looking for a mate, and I noticed growingly she wasn't happy. She would tweet at her songs and, you know, like desperately, you know, nobody answers her song. I started feeling really bad for her, and I noticed a little bit of change in her as well. She started flying only to J, which was so weird because I raised her up, and then she would start only going to J. So there was a big personality difference happening. She was changing. She was becoming more withdrawn. She was becoming sadder. I went as far as to look for another Sparrow for her, for like a friend, for a company on Craigslist. I put some ads on Craigslist. And I was like, maybe I could get her a parakeet. Like, maybe she needs some sort of avian friend. She needs a bird friend, not like human friend. So this happened a couple of times. I would walk out. She was a free-flying bird. So I would walk out and she'd be on my shoulder, and I wouldn't know she was on my shoulder. And I like walk out and I noticed that she's on my shoulder, and I'm like, oh shoot. And I like walk slowly back inside. That way she doesn't like fly away. And she never once had the urge to just fly off my shoulder. She never once like wanted to leave. She always would stay with me. And like one time she did fly off my shoulder because I trusted that she would come back. This was in Mill Valley. Flew off my shoulder, did like a little circle, and came back on my shoulder. Now my whole sorry if I'm all over the place in this, but I don't have it like rehearsed or anything. My whole idea when I found Valme was I wanted her to be free, and I didn't want her to like live her life in a cage and be locked up her whole life, because like I feel like birds are meant to fly and be free. So I was planning on letting her go. I mentioned it to you guys, and you're like, no, like you have to keep her. She's gonna be so used to humans now, like it won't be safe for her to leave. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that's true. I'll keep her, and I won't let her like fly away. So like I said, we'd go outside together, like sometimes on accident, and she would always come back, always. And then so after her personality kind of changed, she kind of matured and aged, the door was open and she flew out of the door and she landed on this tree. And I was like, oh shit, but I wasn't that nervous because I knew that she would come back. So I went out on the like patio thing, and I was like, I call her Girly. I would go, Girly, come here, you know, in like bird voice. And she, like I thought she would fly back to me, and like she looked at me and turned around and like flew away. And I was just like, no, like no, are you serious? So she basically flew away, guys. I'm pretty sure that she did it on purpose. There wasn't any noises around. She didn't get spooked. She flew away, and where I lived in LA, there was tons and tons and tons of sparrows. There were sparrows all around. So I'm sure that she joined a flock, and I hope that she's a baby daddy out there somewhere. I mean, it is springtime, so it's like around mating time, which is probably why like I think she left. She's trying to find a mate, and like she can't mate with humans. She flew away by her choice, and she didn't come back to me. And I was very sad. I'd walk my dogs all up and down the hills calling for her just in case she changed her mind, and literally no signs of Burly. No signs. I also called her Burly. She was Burly Girl, but she was a guy, but I called her Girly, so she's kind of burly, like a burly guy, so she was Burly Girl. I love that bird so much, and I miss her so much, and I know the right thing is for her to be free. If I never found her, she would have died as a little baby getting eaten by ants or like another predator bird. So at least I helped to extend her life and get her where she needed to go, and now, you know, now she can be a free adult bird making little bird babies. So it was a part of a group on Facebook all about house sparrows. It's like a community of people who have rescued sparrows. And I posted on their forum and I was like, you know, she flew away. Like, do you guys think that she'll make it? A lot of people responded and they said that their birds have flown away as well. And usually instinct takes over because they are very instinctual. All the sparrows act like girly. Whenever I watch a sparrow and I'm like at a restaurant, they all act the same. They're like robotic, you know, just like peck peck, like peck peck, fast moving, like it's instinct. They're a very instinctual bird. They're not like a parrot. Very, very instinctual. So I'm pretty sure that her instincts took over, and it's a sad story, but it's a happy story. She will be missed very greatly. I love her to death. I miss her. I know she's okay out there somewhere. So in the future, whenever I find like a baby bird, I'm going to raise it practically outside. I'm gonna let it like be free. I'm not gonna like house it in my house. I'm just gonna let it like be free, let it fly around. When it's a fledgling, I'm gonna let it hop around. That's it if I ever find another baby bird. But I want it to be able to like come and go at my house whenever, you know, it wants to come. I don't want it to ever be locked up in a house again, because it's not fair for the bird. The thing I miss most about Girly is that when I would wear glasses, she would sit on the top frame of my glasses and she would put her little bird head down and she would prune my eyelashes. So she'd just go like bing bing, and it was just so nice feeling her little bird head against like my skin. Oh my gosh, I don't know. She was so sweet. She was like the sweetest bird, and I miss my Burly. So yeah, guys, that's what happened to Burly. I didn't get rid of her. She left on her own. So yeah, I hope that answered your guys' questions. I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next video. Bye guys. I need to go to the beach.